In the heart of Umu's village, a crowd gathered under the heavy Nigerian sun, their whispers a low hum beneath the rustling palm trees. They had come to bid farewell to Ogbufi Okonkwo, a man known for his generosity and, more curiously, his dual faith. He had one foot firmly in the pews of the village church and the other planted deep in the sacred soil of the ancestral shrine. Now his body lay still, and two worlds were about to collide over his final rites. On one side stood Pastor John, his white suit immaculate, his Bible clutched like a shield. On the other was Izmuo, the chief priest, his body adorned with cowries, chalk markings, and the weight of generations of spiritual authority. The air crackled with tension. The soul of this man belongs to the Lord. Pastor John's voice boomed, echoing through the tense silence. I will commit his spirit to God's eternal rest. Izmuo let out a low, guttural laugh. His spirit belongs to the land of his ancestors. It is I who will guide him home, not you. Your foreign God has no claim here. Pastor John began to pray, his voice rising in a crescendo of spiritual fervor, calling on heaven to witness his authority. In response, Izmuo started chanting, his words ancient and powerful, invoking spirits the villagers both feared and revered. The wind suddenly picked up, swirling dust and leaves around the coffin. A dark cloud blotted out the sun, casting an eerie shadow over the gathering. By the power that raised Lazarus, Pastor John declared, pointing a trembling finger at the coffin, I command the forces of darkness to flee. Darkness? Izmuo retorted, his eyes blazing. You speak of darkness? I will show you the power that flows from the earth itself. He stomped his staff on the ground, and a tremor seemed to run through the soil. The villagers gasped, shuffling back in fear. The two men locked eyes, a silent spiritual war raging between them. The pastor's prayers grew louder, the chief priest's incantations more intense. Then, just as the tension reached its breaking point, a loud creak echoed from the wooden coffin. Slowly, impossibly, the lid began to rise. The crowd screamed, some fainting, others scrambling away. Ogbufi Okonkwo sat up, his eyes wide and clear, blinking in the strange twilight. He looked from the stunned pastor to the defiant chief priest. A deep, weary sigh escaped his lips. He turned to the pastor. Your God promises a heaven I have not seen. Then he faced the chief priest. And your ancestors demand a service I can no longer give. He looked out at the terrified faces of his kinsmen. My life was spent trying to please two masters. In death, I choose my own path. With those final words, he laid himself back down, and the coffin lid gently closed. The sun broke through the clouds, and a profound silence fell. The pastor and the chief priest simply stared, their powers rendered meaningless. They had fought for his soul, only for Ogbufi Okonkwo to claim it for himself. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the crossroads of culture and belief.